Today on Using AI at Work, we're excited to welcome Mike Calhoun, a dynamic entrepreneur, finance expert, and friend. Mike's the founder of Board of Advisors, and he's renowned for his strategic insights in private lending and real estate investment. His work at Board of Advisors reflects a deep commitment to fostering powerful connections and growth opportunities amongst his members. Join us as Mike shares his valuable perspectives on leveraging AI for strategic financial decisions and building successful, scalable businesses. Welcome to Using AI at Work. I'm your host, Chris Daigle. Each week, we'll be learning how today's business owners, entrepreneurs, and ambitious professionals are getting more done with smart use of tomorrow's tech. Let's get started. Hey, everybody. We're blessed to have the beautiful baritone of Mike Calhoun from Board of Advisors joining us today on Using AI at Work. And one of the biggest reasons that I wanted Mike to join us was because Mike has optics into tons of business, tons of very successful businesses through his Board of Advisors community. And so, Mike, for those who don't know you, tell us a little bit about the journey from where you started to how you found yourself today as the CEO and founder of Board of Advisors.
Oh, absolutely. First off, thank you, Chris, for having me on here today.
Glad to have you.
It's always a pleasure. Every time I get a text from you, a call, an email, I admire a lot of the projects that you're working on. And I feel like I'm always learning a little new attribute. Every time we talk, it's like you bring something new to the table that I didn't know. So you're an interesting character, great family man. You got a lot of style, just a lot of respect for you. So thank you for having me on. Really, I kind of describe this track record about 26, 27 years of just Herculean effort in tech, real estate tech, online business, technology, SaaS. We just kept doing, and it wasn't always that we had the clearest vision. It wasn't always that we had the best plan, but we never sat still, and we just kept moving forward. I think one of the wisest things somebody told me a long time ago was, in business, even if you're not winning, if you maintain momentum, the season of maybe not winning will pass, but it's all about momentum. So if we started in tech, and then we got into real estate, and then we launched a real estate tech, and we started just adding together instead of starting something completely new and always splitting yourself and diluting yourself. We continue to add and enhance and move that train down the tracks while maintaining momentum. And a lot of that is relationship based. So, like I said, maybe 26, 27 years in tech, now taking a lot of those relationships into a community. We call it Board of Advisors, which is, I think, better than a mastermind in the sense of saying, hey, we operate a mastermind. We operate a community with a lot of competent owners, founders, CEOs, decision makers that want to collaborate. They want to innovate. They want to leverage the experience of others. All of it starts with a great idea, they say relationships live inside conversations. And, that's what I think we do best. We start the right conversations for the right reasons with the right people.
Beautiful. So this is actually an atypical interview because you have most of the people that I've been interviewing, they have their own business and they're able to share with me kind of what's going on in their business. But with this spirit of innovation that exists in the community, the momentum that exists within your community, you've got the ability to counsel and also learn from hundreds of successful business owners. So your exposure to how AI is being used at work might be a little broader than the average guest that we've got. So what I'd like to do is I would like to find out how AI, generative AI and the tools behind it are impacting your business. But I'd love for you to be able to maybe share, you don't have to mention names if you don't want to, but maybe share what some of your clients are doing. I know that you've got some clients that are involved in AI as well. And I'd just love to hear what you're seeing happening in the marketplace and how AI is impacting you and your clients.
Okay. And then let's make a deal. Do you want to make a deal?
Okay. Please.
Cut me off if we feel like we've answered the question. I tend to be on so many calls with so many various owners and founders and we're diving into their brands and their challenges. Sometimes my brain just keeps going.
Yes.
So, because I want to make sure we hit all the right points. So, number one, I have individuals that are they are innovating and building on AI. Then I have individuals that are creating AI to serve AI and make AI better, which is an interesting layer that most people aren't even understanding yet. And then I have individuals that are teaching, they're educating on AI so that if you're curious, you understand where to start. What are the fundamentals? Many times there's a misconception. Then I have individuals that have actually put AI in their business and are deploying it on a certain function. For example, and you're going to know this really well. Take a video production company. Video production is heavy. You got to shoot it. So you got to shoot it, capture it, then you got to export it, edit it, manage it. It creates a lot of processing to get to an end result, right? Okay. So I have a gentleman owned a video production editing company for a long time, and he implemented AI into his business to help shrink timeframes. Then what he realized is we're going to start an AI company that serves my video production company.
Nice.
And what he's done is he's arrived at a point where that AI company now is so sophisticated. In 1 hour, he can get exactly what he needs from a customer. He doesn't have to even shoot it. He now is a processing accoutrement, add-on feature module for anybody shooting video, and so think about this. He can take let's call it 1 hour capture and turn it into like 7,000 bits. And here's the cool part. If he gets enough in the right manner on you, he can create a voice AI clone.
Yes.
Hold on. From an hour. And then he can use AI to write scripts so that the AI clone can read them. He doesn't even need you anymore, right? And he does all of this in 1 hour with a customer for $3,500.
What would that have looked like a year ago as far as production time and manpower and cost?
It would look like the biggest pain in your rear, right?
Yeah.
Like, think about it. Just the aspect of capturing, editing, exporting, it's just a mess.
Yeah.
And that's what AI is doing. AI thrives in an environment where there's more data, more for it to work with. And here's the interesting part. It's not even really interested in data. It's interested in all the things that we're actually not even noticing. So, and I'd love to share this with you as well. So if we think about data is black and white, right? You have ones and zeros and you have letters, and it's data in a database. Now, think about that audio. Let's just take his audio. He took the audio out of the video. The audio itself has, obviously, is it high? Is it low? The tonality, the inflection, the speed, the character. When I'm on the phone with you, do you ever think it's somebody else?
Never.
Ever.
Never.
It's me.
Yep.
When I see your face, I know it's you. When you hear my voice, you know it's me. There's so much from audio and video or the visual that AI is actually soaking up. Because see, as a human, the way we function is we're trying to stay, we have I forget what the thing is in the frontal cortex there, but it helps us to focus on what is most important in the environment so that we can get things done without turning into a scatterbrain. AI is not doing that. It's saying, give me everything.
Yes.
Here's what's cool about it. It's actually seeing what we're not seeing. And it's making decisions on what we're not paying attention to. And it's giving us feedback. And here's the interesting part, suggestions on how to do things better or how to be more strategic. Like it's such a wild environment because it's literally doing what we're not, but for our benefit. And if we take an advanced conversation like that, where, it's not about data anymore, it's about the modality environment, which is what I was saying about the guy that did the AI that serves AI. He said he was describing their platform as a module that stacks on top of other platforms and AI. And he goes, imagine humidity. So our module is not attached to anything. Like, Chris, are you attached to anything?
Not right now. I could get up and leave.
I mean, maybe your wife, right? But realistically, you're not attached to anything. And that's what he was describing as our tech is not attached to anything. It's like humidity in the air and it's soaking up everything, right? So it's not even about data anymore. It's the entire environment, right? That begins to process and it begins to just churn through the things that we don't even know to ask for or look at. And it's wild how fast this is growing as well. But going back to a much more simpler conversation, I have members that are training on, as people are coming into the AI conversation, they think they have to learn it. Here's the fundamental. You don't learn it.
Yeah.
It learns you.
Yeah.
Right. And it's wild that really what we're doing is we are taking a technology and you're going to understand what this word means, is we are prompting it to do. So it's kind of like we start experimenting with it and it's learning us. So we're prompting it. And then as we're saying, no, a little more like this and no, a little more like that, we're playing tennis is what we're doing.
Yep.
And it's getting to know us and we're getting to know how to use and wield that power better. But realistically, we're only playing with a little chat bot that can write a homework paper or something, a web page for us or whatever. These are such simple applications, but it's a place to start so you can begin having fun, then you start to get the idea.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of people, they hear prompt engineering. I'm not an engineer. I'm not wired that way, but this is completely different because once you understand you're having an iterative conversation, great answer. Now tell me more about that. Or that's not exactly what I meant. So people that have intimidation about using the models shouldn't. Exactly like you said, we're learning, like me and the model are learning about each other. Well, I'm not learning much about the model, and it's starting to make insights just based on not that initial prompt, but that tennis game you're talking about, back and forth and back and forth. And that prompt ends up being a sit down session of 30 minutes, an hour, whatever. But at the end of it, I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of people are thinking to use generative AI to create content or to assist with automations, but you're talking about using it for ideation and strategic counsel. And that's for people at your level of business and the people that are in board of advisors. That functionality alone, from saying, act as Steve Jobs, I'm creating a new giving it those iconic roles to behave as, you get a level of perspective on your issues or potential solutions that without AI, 100 hours on the phone calling people like you or calling some of my network and stuff that the average person doesn't have access to. They just wouldn't arrive at the same conclusion. So I'm glad you brought that up. Now, in your the operations of board of advisors, what's the level of enthusiasm or how much is your team embracing generative AI? Is it active? Is it standoff?
So I have required each player on the team.
Nice.
We went and set up a corporate account and everybody has access to the AI tools with OpenAI. And it was a little bit of a banging on our head, banging our head against the wall in the sense of, okay, it's say your role is to write the next email. No, you're not writing the next email anymore. You're going to come up with a framework of what that email should accomplish context, goal, accomplished, benefit, and then you are going to prompt AI. So think about this. So if we just want to take notes on the call mentally, maybe I give my guys the tool, but I also give them the instruction of, I want you to derive an email or a campaign around some of the hottest topics in business today that owners, because we deal with owners, founders, CEOs, the decision maker, that owners, founders, CEOs want to hear about based on, and this is where AI is great, because the more specificity you give it, the better it will work for you. So I want you to create a campaign around owners, founders, CEOs, people who are in the decision-making process, top level in business. And I want you to look at Google. I want you to look at Yahoo, Bing. I want you to look at YouTube. I want you to look at all the public socials and what are the 7 most diversified trending topics that a CEO is asking or talking about. Boom. And it'll feed you back, right? And then say, maybe it comes in and it feels like all of it's marketing. No. So now do that, but give me those headlines from administration, marketing, finance, and then you just start showing the team how to make it get their job done better and faster. Because what I showed my team was it can be absolutely exhausting deriving everything from scratch. And we don't have time to do that anymore if we're going to be competitive, right? So now what I want you to do is I want you to use AI for the derivative, to derive the things from scratch, get them mudded, get the framework there, and then it will expedite you into, boom, we got this so close, I'm just going to take it, doctor it up, done. So giving the team a tool, and I call it to play with, which makes it fun.
Yeah.
But it also shows them how they can be hyper productive, but not get completely exhausted, because I want to leverage their creativity and their ability to drive the tech for the result, not depend on, there's no way they can be competitive with AI searching all of the internet, right? Or the entire database of, whatever platform. Now we're leveraging it. It's learning us and we're leveraging it.
You brought a couple good points up. And one of those is that knowing how to ask the question isn't a natural skill. We kind of, as humans, typical people in conversation just kind of stumble through it. They're not really thinking through things. To get the right output that doesn't need as much massaging by your team, you mentioned that you have to get very specific and get very clear. And that itself, like practicing that and the playing with it, is how somebody gets good. They don't necessarily need to go get the MIT certification in prompt engineering. They need to understand how to ask questions. And secondly, you brought up the point that there may be some people that think, oh, I can go into AI and type something in and I'm done. Rarely have I seen that be the case. The synthetic output from the AI model still needs the human in the loop, still needs the person who really understands your audience, your community, and would go, no, we'd actually say it this way. But in 5 seconds, AI has done 80%, 90% of the heavy lifting. And that was a good point. Not 100%, but most of it.
And again, right now, the retail public interface, they are playing with widgets and the little gadgets that allow them to explore. So one point on that, the average user or the most common user is used to asking Google a question or a search term. That's not how AI functions.
Exactly.
So we don't need AI for that. Google's done that very well. So instead of asking it a question, if you change your mindset to putting AI to work,
give it a command. Yes.
Yeah. So you are prompting it, go or give me the XYZ, right? With specificity,
Yes.
and then refine it, shape it, and get it down to what you feel is like the end result you're looking for. Like that's kind of the art
Great
of it. But that's such a basic version of implementation. Really what's about to transpire is you're going to turn around and it's going to be layered into absolutely everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
And you're going to start naturally doing what we just said, because it's going to be on your phone, right? And you're going to begin, like Siri is a good example of like what I think everybody probably already does use so well. It's just going to get so much more convenient, right? In all apps, in all conversations, in all interfaces. Because at the end of the day, like that third wave is putting it in the environment and just prompting for outcomes and letting it work, and then guiding and steering it. And at a certain point, here's where it gets scary. You know, when does it turn around and start steering us?
It's coming, baby. It's coming.
Yeah.
No, this is that was a great distinction, because I've had that rebuttal. Oh, I can just use Google, or I tried it. Google's better. You brought that point up, which is you're not asking it a question. You're giving it a command. And if somebody approaches it that way, that's a completely different conversation to have. I'm glad you said that. That's fantastic. So let me ask you, of your team, you've got them, they're mandated to start playing with the models. Have any of your folks become like addicted, or like they had that breakthrough? They're like, wow, I got to use this.
Funny part is some of them I've got to keep reminding. I'm like, I can tell that obviously did not come out of, you didn't use your AI. So let me remind you, you took too long, right?
Yep.
And it didn't turn out as good. Okay. And now you're going to have to go do it with AI anyway. So what are we waiting on?
Tool.
And
yeah.
And then the other parties that want to adopt heavily, you know, Corey loves it, because Corey loves it because Corey's just such a systems guy. Yes. Anytime I create a new dashboard, or anytime, you know, there's a project like that, he just really churns on it. So some are faster and slower to adopt, but what you have to show them is you are losing competitiveness with your time and the performance on your result, and you're exhausting yourself. Get around the learning curve, get familiar, and you will find the enjoyment of accomplishment, but you'll also find that you're not as tired, and you'll feel more powerful about being able to get things done.
I hadn't considered that impact. We're doing a lot less like neural processing, just from a biological standpoint. We don't need as much energy. We've all had those days where you come out and you're just mentally wiped out, right? But that's a result of the brain using so much of the energy.
You're doing the processing. Yeah.
Yes. And now I love it.
Less processing, more prompting.
Yes.
You can write that down.
I like that.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
You can find that in the show notes.
Look, Chief AI Officer.
Yeah.
I don't get paid to process, baby. I get paid to prompt.
Yes. That's two very interesting distinctions that I hadn't considered. And I've been having a lot of conversations about this. So are there any specific tools that you guys, you find besides ChatGPT that are being commonly used throughout the organization, or that anybody's talked about, said this was the game changer?
Well, in preparation for this podcast today, I said, you know, the last thing I want to do is be a loser. I want to be a winner. I don't want to win all the time. Yes. Not only do I want to win, I want to win on the Chief AI podcast. So I put AI to work, and I said, okay, I want to be if there were anyone that ever brought the most value with the least amount of time to prepare, because I did not have any time. I've had 19 meetings since on my calendar from yesterday through today. So these 2 days, 19 meetings. Oh, and all the accounting, payroll. I mean, unbelievable, mind blistering. And I said, listen, I don't have time to prepare, but how do I increase my preparation, knowledge, articulation of a lot of the questions you might ask? And I just jogged back and forth a little bit with AI. And I wanted to make sure that I kind of put that to the test, right?
Yeah.
So like even the aspect of increasing your learning curve or familiarity on a topic so that you can be prepared for a meeting that you're not prepared for, right? You know, I would look, I'm not answering your question right now, but what I'm saying is
this is good.
Put it to the test. So think about this. You have a pain, there's stress, something's happening. Now, usually we turn to our assistant and we say, go do this. But maybe say, I now have an issue. How can I get an answer, info, whatever, and put it to the test? Is it always going to work? I don't know. But I'll tell you this, what you might find is you might find little bits and pieces that begin to save your ass.
Yes.
When you could show up looking like a monkey and not know anything, or you could show up with three primary topics.
Yes.
Think about it. You show up with three primary topics or rebuttals that might be relevant, and now you're amazing. And here's the funny part. Your competition or your other attendees probably never did that.
Right.
They were too worried about potentially building a presentation, whatever. But how about on the think about it right now. Jason, so we built a process in our event experience where I would talk to the cloud, have Jason execute something for me, and he would say, yes, sir. And then they all thought that it was like this. It was actually my assistant. Yeah. But the process, think about it. The process, it was like a show. It was like a magic show. Yeah. So he's in the AB system, but in the cloud, but listening. And anytime I would talk, he would just respond to me. And the members loved it. It was like I said, it was like a show, like entertainment.
Yeah. That's great.
But then I started thinking, like, why wouldn't we be doing that with AI on the daily and having it right there, ready, open, to always kind of just be that little edge, right? Yeah. And technically, I have Jason with us here today, but he's like, if I prompted him, he would go prompt AI, and then it would end up in the chat. Jason, if you could please, would you do me a favor? Would you get me 7 of the top rated AI podcast topics within the last month on YouTube pumped into the chat, please, sir?
While he's doing that, Mike, that's a use case. Every time I get a use case from these conversations where I'm like, so apparent, so simple, but didn't think of that. As an executive or a manager or anybody leading a team, you're going to find there's a lot of meetings that occur in business. You're going to find yourself like, oh, sorry, guys, I'm on my way, right? Like you forgot that was happening. If you can jump on the app and say, like literally dictate into it on the GPT app and say, whatever, I'm going into this meeting. How do you prepare me? This is the topic, dude, that is. And even if you do plan, if you're not caught off guard, but you want to prepare for a meeting, using it pre-meeting to make sure that you roll up hard and you're bringing the perception is reality. So the other parties, the counterparties are going to think like, oh, damn, Mike's got it together. Mike's prepared. And for all of us, we find ourselves in those situations and it
allows you, if you get a hold of it, it allows you to be superhuman.
Yes.
When others just aren't leveraging the tech.
Yes.
And actually, so if we want to give the listeners a little homework, I don't want to explain too much because curiosity will guide accomplishment. So if they want to look up diffusion, Whisper AI, and Midjourney, those 3 things, those are great things that they need to explore. Okay. Those are great things that they need to explore. And we've built an AI stack. So we started what we call a skunks work project, where I put some of my guys just exploring and playing, and just sometimes I forget they're doing it, but then every once in a while they're like, hey, here's this thing that we found out, right? So 7 topics that are based on AI for podcast are right here. True crime, the podcast, True Crime. They're exploring real life crime stories, investigations, and mysteries, self-improvement, comedy, tech. Oh, I like the diversity here. So he must have prompted it with diversity. So look, true crime, self-improvement, comedy, technology, pop culture, entertainment, politics, current events, sports. So you can see the detail there. But the thing
I want people to take a minute and just realize what happened. Mike didn't have any idea of the types of questions or where this conversation was going, and most of the guests don't. I put him on the spot, and instantly he had an answer. So I want everybody to think about that. Keep the models open when you're in a meeting and say, hold on, let me check my notes. Oh, the answer is 430, like whatever. That was very impressive what you just did there. I want everybody to understand he didn't know this question was coming. He didn't have the answer on hand, took 2 seconds, and it was as if he had prepared, and done all this research in advance. It's beautiful.
Well, it also, think about this, you could turn it inside out too, where it's helping you ask the right questions.
Yes.
Right? Instead of getting answers, sometimes that's in an interview or in a business meeting or doing a deal or whatever. What am I not looking at that I need to know based on, think about this. So you have an individual that, like a Donald Trump, that's great at real estate, and based on a transaction. So based on the history of real estate, commercial real estate transactions, and teachings from all Donald Trump's content in an environment where this caused the closing to maybe not happen today, like what would he do or have done based on all his trainings? Boom. And it's just a great way. I mean, these are very simple things that we're talking about here. Very, very rudimentary.
But very powerful. I mean, this is incredible.
Correct. Yeah. Now, what I would challenge everybody to do, though, is get in your routine, find intersections that make you use it, right? So email or your team, or just look for ways to be able to use it. That's just a little bit of planning on the front end that kind of forces you to, and the more you do, the better off you're going to get. But I think what you're going to realize is it's here to serve you, not you serve it.
The way that I heard it, I did an interview with John Benson on this topic. And the way that John told people, he's like, you need to ask, how can I use this? 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 And that gets you to start thinking and prompt versus just question. Right. And that goes back to that concept you introduced with Google versus GPT earlier. And I love it.
Again, fundamental, the bigger the situation, the bigger the environment, the bigger the data, because that's what everybody's very familiar with. The bigger the data. So for example, if we do a board of advisor event and we have a couple hundred of the top founder, CEOs, investors show up, and we do 5 days of meetings.
Yep.
Think about it. Many times there's 4 different sessions going on simultaneously. Yep. So think about all the video, all the audio, all the imagery, all the text, all the notes, everything is compiled onto the platform.
Yes.
Right? Now, you drop AI into that and you say, pull out every moment that, and then now what you're doing is you're able to curate and concentrate what would take a human so long it becomes never, right? And from a productivity standpoint, yes, that's productive. But from a value, that's the challenge that I'm trying to get everybody to understand here is it's not just about productivity. It's about how valuable you can make yourself, your product or platform in the competitive market when others aren't doing it.
So you could instantly, from literally hundreds or maybe even 1,000+ hours over those 5 days, considering all the breakout rooms and everything, you could feed that into the model and say, compile the highlights related to commercial real estate, or and they could have been occurring in across like that's incredible, and that result would return instantly. That's incredible.
Give me the most. So think about this, and I love to talk. So again, feel free to cut me off. But I love to show that at BA, the connections are so strong because of the emotion, right? You know, in our imagery, in our video, in our brand, I train my team to pick out the media that has emotion. Okay, bro, they'll go pick a picture. I'm like, where is the emotion in that?
Yeah.
Like, well, they're smiling. No. That's not emotion, right? And then I also train them on connection. So they think, because this person, I see the back of their head, and then the other person is kind of like looking the other way. And yeah, they're there. You could tell they're having a conversation. That's not connection. When I really master it with them, I've got two individuals. Eyes are locked. They you can tell, because you can, in the image, you can see both sets of eyeballs connected. You can see some sort of intent or passion in the delivery of the conversation. You can see that there's branding in the background of BA. You can see that these people only connect this powerfully in our environment. So I tell AI, go get every one of those eye-locking moments that has branding in the background so that I can use it to demonstrate an emotional connection. Boom, boom, boom. And it rips through that, and every single one of them beautiful.
Keepers.
Can't even get, like, I got a human that is the only thing that actually has emotion that can barely identify emotion.
Yeah. Yes.
Isn't that wild?
So let me ask you about this. And I realize now how much audio and video you guys produce. And I also know that you are like a high velocity operator. You like momentum. How will AI allow
That's
you
one way to put it.
I'm a diplomat, brother. How will AI allow you to get more juice out of your momentum without needing to bring on more people, more roles? Like, is it more you got the good person who knows how to use the tool to get more results?
Let me show you. I'm going to do something live here on the show. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to show you something that is the absolute answer to your question.
Okay. I'm into it. While Mike is taking a look at that, I just want to remind everybody about that idea of the Google paradigm versus the AI model paradigm, which is I'm going to ask Google a question. I'm going to command or prompt the model to get a result. And if you sit down in front of ChatGPT or Claude or any of them for the first time, remember, it's not a search engine. I'm eliciting a response. And here he is.
Check this out.
Okay.
So, yes, a lot of video, a lot of pictures, a lot of imagery. We are 10 days before a meeting. 10 days. Okay. How long do you think it takes to create a magazine of Fortune, entrepreneur, like I'm saying, big boy brand magazines, okay, just digitally? How long do you think that takes to do an issue for the month?
I would say if you had the right team, a week to 2 weeks, maybe.
And then the actual process of doing a physical magazine, you've never done one ever in your life.
Yeah.
Right? Ever.
Yeah.
So we produced a digital magazine. You can go to it right now. Board of Advisors boardofadvisors.com/magazine.
Okay.
The digital magazine is right there, and the physical magazine is right here.
So tell me about
it in 10 days on the desk of the members, and guess who's in it? All of the members
that are coming to the event in 10 days.
No, look right here. So articles on all. Here's Adam Taylor's innovative path in finance and leadership. And dude, I don't even know where they got these images from. I guess the internet, like in his office at BA, like you tell it to go get it, and then you assemble it, right? Find me magazine templates, find me cover.
That's sexy.
Dude, go put it to work, and then get me advertisers like the ones you just ask for all of it, and it goes and gets the links and everything, bro. It is unbelievable. So think about this. So all my members now have their own magazine.
Wow.
I got to tell you, who's the fastest publisher? What's the best paper? You just put the thing to work and you produce. Humans can't do that. Now, you got to have a human doing some of that.
Sure.
But
human in the loop.
It makes you invincible if you start to figure it out.
So I'm excited. Now, will I be able to get my hands on one of those when I see you in next week? You got plenty in the office?
Listen, you're asking all the wrong questions. The question is,
how do I get
in it? Right? How do you get in it? And here's the funny part. What we figured out is so this was the first magazine. So boardofadvisors.com/magazine. Now, when you have a physical copy, boom, you're going to open it. It's going to be in the article. Here's Carrie Charles, twofold mission with broad staff and retention partners. So here's a QR code right in the middle that then brings you to our podcast with her, Board of Advisors podcast with her.
Yes.
And her product, her service, the interview. How do you connect? So this was the first magazine where you are able to literally read the magazine, then go experience their product and their interview, and then apply or connect with them at an upcoming call or meeting. So you get to meet her through paper.
I like that a lot. This is a new thing. Episode 1, edition 1.
This is episode, good idea, 00 beta, but now it is becoming a thing because we're leveraging. Like, think about this. I have my members sitting right here next to Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, then boom, Rick Jordan. You know what I mean? Like Chris Dinner, Dwayne Johnson. You just take all the right people, all the right articles, boom, stack your people next to it. Everybody's famous.
So prior to using these tools, you just wouldn't have, it would have been a great project to do, but bandwidth would not have allowed for it.
Project I always wanted to do. Never had, had no clue, how does it work?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that you begin exploring. Well, I got that little thing done. Could I get this done? And you just keep pushing the envelope.
Yes.
That's really probably the challenge. Push the envelope of what is possible. Like at BA, we say anything is possible with the right people.
Yeah.
Right. Coming together in a collaborative spirit and mindset, working together, right?
Yeah.
Sharing resources, experiences, leverage. Anything is possible. I got to add AI to our entire slogan because it's one of the things that makes it possible faster.
Yeah. Save a seat at the next event for ChatGPT. I'm sure it'll be showing up.
Probably going to be in our pockets, all of us. That's what I'm saying. It's going to move so fast that by the time we think we have to learn it, it's going to be working for us. Because here's the thing. So we invest in a lot. We're actually starting our new fund, which is exciting. just got off with the attorneys today.
Congratulations.
AI is going to be a major focus. The X Fund, so it'll be called the X Fund, and that fund will be focused on the future of tech, AI, not only crypto, but utility-based crypto. All of this stuff is anything that reduces friction, increases efficiency, speed, and accuracy. That's where things are going. So one of our investments, Cohere, which came through another member, one of our guys that brings all the early stage pre-IPO well-qualified opportunities. But Cohere is integrated inside Salesforce, Oracle. See, what they did right is they're not trying to convince people to go build AI into their business. They're going to all the business solutions and already integrating AI into the solution. So you're going to be using it before you know it, whether you like it or not. And all of these things are going to be getting smarter right under your nose, which is why I say, just begin to understand it a little better through exploration.
Beautiful. Hey, so Mike, if people are interested in participating or learning more about the BA community, because I myself have been to several events, and it's players. Everybody in that room is taking care of business. B, very warm, not an ego environment where you'd expect for all of these high achievers to be, measuring each other, not happening. And the insight that's being shared is like pivotal moments for businesses, like really high impact stuff. So if there's business owners out there who are interested in finding out more about that, where should they go?
Well, boardofadvisors.com is the primary URL. boardofadvisors.com/magazine is the magazine. But if you want to get an invitation to hop on the platform, jump on a call, learn about our full-time operation, because we are not just events. Get your invite at bainvite.com, and we will actually schedule a call and begin the conversation of, who are you? What are you doing? What is your business? What is your product, platform, or service? What are your initiatives? What are you trying to accomplish? Who do you want to meet? And then we also look at the luster of who might want to meet you, right?
Yes.
Because there's a lot of cool people out there doing a lot of cool stuff. And there's two sides to the coin, where you bring value and competency, you bring solutions and experience, and you bring resources. We catalog all that stuff, stack it on the platform, but then we marry you with whatever you're solving for, whatever you're looking for, your initiatives. I got a guy coming on to the platform, great product platform service, but he needs strategy. And to save him before he gets out there too big, he might get out there so fast that a competitor who's bigger and more well-funded, before he's protected, could literally just knock him off and negate his entire approach to the market. So strategy is mated with competency and innovation. It's an environment where we grow, but we grow smart and we grow better and more efficiently and more profitable together. bainvite.com. I got to tell you, we dedicated the entire first day of our last physical in-person engagement, where people come from all across US, Australia, Japan, to AI. The entire day. Hey, and by the way, this, and I'm going to say something weird, but you already know it. At BA, there are no speakers. There are no speakers. Nobody's speaking on anything. It's all members sharing their expertise, their experience, their plans, their strategies, their challenges. It's a member-driven engagement. This isn't about coming to see who. A lot of these people think about this. A lot of these speakers are out there talking about it, but they're not doing it. My people are doing it. And that's where you're really getting the value, because it's not just, hey, I learned something from him, but we might be able to actually put you two together to create even more leverage for your mutual benefit.
I love it. Mike, thank you so much.
I'm
like
sorry,
I said,
you get me all excited, Chris.
yeah, well, I'll send you something to temper that. Every time I do these interviews, and I'm a power user, my entire organization, we use it, and still I have a conversation with somebody like you and I get this new perspective. So I want to thank you for sharing that with me. And I'm looking forward to getting this out to the public and letting more people understand how to use AI at work.
Thanks for tuning in to Using AI at Work. Don't forget to subscribe for more conversations about how to use AI at work. And a special thank you to our sponsor, Chief AI Officer, for empowering businesses with AI education and training. Visit their website for a free AI readiness assessment and AI strategy guide to help you get started using AI at work. That's www.chiefaiofficer.com. Special thanks to our producer, Evan DeSaulnier, for making this episode possible. Follow us on Twitter at the handle Using AI at Work, and visit www.usingaiatwork.com for free resources to help you harness AI in your role.